Hello, and welcome to the next episode of ProgrammingArchon. So, this is me, Martin, Max, and
And this is me, Sander, Sander, the power tool.
Sander.
Yay.
Okay.
So we're gonna start programming.
So, what did we do last time? We programmed. We added a shop. We added some items. We dealt with. Did we get to the buying part of the items? No.
Actually, we could buy it from the store, but it didn't go anywhere. So we bought it. The store didn't have it anymore, and that was it.
Okay. So basically, we have a store, but we have no customers.
Yeah. So basically,
Okay.
at the moment, we want customers to make the
Yes, capitalism.
capitalism work. Yes.
Yes. For that reason, we're gonna need. Oh, wait a minute, I broke something already. Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, I think we need those.
Yeah, we might need those. What is this red stuff? Why are you so red? Alright, so let's first see if all our tests run. Doing a good test run development. Yay! Everything seems to be compiling and running.
23 tests. Awesome.
Okay, so we are now gonna add a potential customer that will be the player.
So we want a new package for this, right?
Yeah.
So it should be like player package?
I guess so. Yeah, we can totally go with player.
Yes, let's go player.
So since we're doing this test driven, I'm gonna be writing a test first and the implementation later.
Do we want to call the player player?
Now you made it should be player tests and since it's a class name it should start with a capital letter.
Oh, herp-a-derp. Herp-a-derp.
I guess that's what's happened. That happens when you try to speak and write code at the same time, right?
Yes.
Great. And that's why pair programming is great. You find typos.
Actually, we want to refactor this again. So Shift F6. Shift F6. Tests.
Great.
So we're gonna have more than one test for this. So we want to be able to make a player. So player should exist. That's a stupid test.
That's a stupid test. Maybe we can skip this kind of tests.
Okay. So
we could actually skip some kind of a functionality already.
Yeah, let's do that. And the functionality would be that
should be able to
the player should be able to buy from a shop.
Yeah, that sounds great. Should be to buy. Okay.
Awesome.
So, shall I write the test and you write the implementation?
Yeah, let's do that.
Alright, let's start this way. So, we're gonna have some kind of a player. Here, I'm just gonna call him a player right now. I'm just gonna think of some kind of a witty name. Be unoriginal here. Right, so take me a while. Oh, there we go. Figure out the Estonian keyboard. Yeah. And it's gonna be a new player. I'm gonna write a bunch of code.
Yeah.
And then we can, go through this a bit faster.
Yes.
All right. So I'm gonna presume that there will be a shop. Shop. We had a shop, right? Yeah, we did.
Yeah. What do we need to import it?
Shop. Shop. Are they actually called stores? When are they called shops and when are they called stores? That's a good one.
I have no idea.
All right. New shop. Great. So we're gonna have a shop, and we're gonna have some kind of an item. Item. I'm just gonna call it a sword right now.
No more sticks.
Oh yeah, actually yeah, we've been doing so many sticks, so let's call it a stick. Stick. It's gonna be a new item, and I'm gonna add it to the shop. Shop dot add item stick. So now there's another stick in the shop. How as a player should you actually get the view of all of items available in the shop and then decide I want to buy that item.
At the moment, we're not trying to do that. At the moment, we want we're
Okay.
going to skip this part. So we need.
Okay. Yeah, you're correct. You're correct. Yeah.
So we just need to take from store, give to player.
Shop.
Should it be like a class or a function in player where it receives like the shop and the item as parameters?
Something like that, yeah. Buy. And I guess it's gonna be stick. Or actually it should be this way, I guess. Shop from where to buy. And stick. Not sure if that's the best API. But okay, I guess we can figure it out later. As always a nice sentence. Yeah, we'll figure this out later.
2 years later.
And then I'm gonna have assert. I'm just gonna go like this. Assert true. I'm gonna assume that player done. Something like this.
Okay. So that's the thing we want to do. So with this test, we made it clear that
a player should be able to buy item from the shop, and as a result, the player should have that item. I guess that sounds reasonable. Yeah.
Yes. So let's start to implement this. So we want a player, but not here.
Yeah, that sounds correct.
Okay. Awesome, it made the packages and everything. That's awesome. And we need 2 methods. A buy method. I'm just gonna just get this in here. So basically, whatever. We need an item. Let's call it a weapon. So basically, we're gonna have different slots. Okay, so let's just say it like this. And if you buy a stick, at the moment we're just gonna hardcode it as a weapon.
Okay.
So if we want to buy it, we're gonna say shop.buy the item. So the shop will lose the stick.
Maybe we should do it a bit more general in the sense that rename that variable. It's the right method. Just I don't agree that this should be part of it.
Oh, I mean, okay, it's an item or weapon, or what do you mean?
Yeah, item. Oh yeah, right.
So it's an item.
That's better.
This buy is really this. Okay, the player is gonna buy, the shop is gonna lose the item.
Yeah, that might be already implemented there, right?
So basically, it's an buy. So we're gonna remove the item which is in it, and it's saying that it's not in stock.
You have. You might want to read that again.
Oh yeah, okay. It needs because it throws exceptions. We need to catch them.
Okay.
And the weapon should equal the item we bought. And if we want to check if we have an item, we return item. No, weapon.
It's currently the has item should be a boolean method, right? not a void method.
Yes.
So it's got to be either true or false. Now we need to have some kind of, yeah.
Can we just check if it's not null?
Yeah, you can check that. How would you check if it's not null?
Not equal. Not
Yeah. Yeah.
Brain
just-
fart is there. Awesome.
I guess it's so late in the evening. All right. Good.
So
Just gonna static import it, and let's see if it runs. Oh, it's the shortcut.
Ctrl Shift F10.
Control Shift F10 to go. Good to go. All right. So that one
Okay.
worked.
But so we need to write another test to make it more specific. So it will only work for this item at the moment.
You mean if you probably buy an item that's not in stock, the player should not have it in inventory, something like that? If you already buy an item from the store?
Yeah, of course,
okay,
of course.
Okay, so I'm gonna add a test method. Should not to buy.
Should not receive item when not in stock, because the buy part is like tested in the shop already.
Okay, so I'm gonna have pretty much the same setup, except I will not add the item to the store. So we have a stick item, and the player will try to buy a stick item from the shop. Now this is actually a place where you might want to consider that that you're not gonna call out, I want to buy a specific item, but you will want something more general in the sense that from a shop you like to buy some kind of item class, class. You want this kind of a specific item from the store. So I see down the path in the future, we're probably gonna have different classes for specific items. So we'll have something like, I don't know, sword.class, and I want to buy a sword type of an item from the store, and that's when the store would. Or actually, no.
This needs to be more specific.
Yeah, it needs to be more specific. You're right.
So,
you're right. We can't just pick any one class. All these instances gonna be having different stats. So that won't work. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So basically, we will have to. What will we have to do? At the moment, we don't have to do anything. So let's.
All right. So
let's do it later. Let's think about it later.
I'm gonna add here a try catch. Jesus. Yeah, I have to work with clips during day job. Was it like this? I don't remember anything. Oh, no.
The try has to end.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Usually I generate this part. So. Okay.
Why didn't you generate this?
Because because it wasn't an exception, or it didn't show it as an error in the code syntax, because this method already has notification that might throw an exception. All right, so I'm just gonna catch it. In case, this case, I don't really want to do anything with the catch statement. So one nice thing that I've seen done is we're gonna name the exception ignored. So from here you can understand that if this throws an exception, I'm just gonna ignore it. And now I'm gonna assert false that the player has an item.
Okay, let me try to implement it. Done!
Which test did you run right now? Should not receive items. Yeah, you run the correct one. Okay, great. So we have this now.
But this actually is not working, because we should not have the item. Oh, actually, yeah, we should not have the item in inventory.
Yeah, we don't have it. Alright, so this is correct.
So basically, the shop if we go to the player, what happens here is that the player, no, not this one, this one. If we want to buy, so it's going to call shop buy. This will throw an exception, which will go back here. So basically, this won't happen, right?
Right now, I'm seeing something strange anyway. If we have an item stick, we're just gonna see if this is null. I'll write another test for this.
Let's not skip on the test writing. But
this wouldn't really matter what if we'd skip it or not, but I need to write a more specific test for sure.
Yeah.
So this test is gonna be like buying a same type of an item, or buying an item should replace an item. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we want. We want the player to have an inventory. We want the inventory to have some kind of slots. Currently, we have only weapon slot. And when we buy a second item, we expect it to take the place of the first item. Alright, so we have a player, we have a shop. We add the item to the shop. Might as well create a second stick while we're at it.
No, let's call it super stick or two-handed stick.
Alright, yeah, that's better. What was it, Shift F6? Yeah. Big stick. And we're gonna stick. And now we're gonna buy both items. So we're gonna first buy the stick, and then we're gonna buy the big stick. And now we're gonna assume the player has item big stick, and we're gonna assume false that the player has item regular stick.
This should do it.
Alright, so let's see what happens.
Okay, so
There we go.
we have an error where we wanted to check if we don't have stick.
Yeah. Yeah.
So basically we need here. Not just check if there is any weapon. So we now need to check if the weapon here or item. So basically if weapon dot, can we just compare them like this?
Yeah, I guess you can. Yeah.
So if we have an item, we just check the item is on the slot, in the slot.
I'm just messing with you.
Bring it on! So what are you thinking here?
I'm gonna assert false that player has item null, and I'm gonna also assert false that the player has a random item that I just made up. New item. So that made your work a bit more difficult, but that way we have more reliable code.
Yay!
So yeah, if you're wondering what that does, Sas is gonna be having fun in implementing this now.
So basically, we think we haven't initialized the item. So basically, we cannot just call weapon.equals because this does not exist.
Yeah.
So I would just write the constructor. So every time a player is made, we're just gonna say that the weapon equals new item.
So I'm gonna give every player an item. I think it's So you would, if you want to, how would you represent an empty slot then? Would an empty slot also be an item?
Like empty slot item, would it be? Actually, it could be done like this. So every empty slot, everybody has a like null item or something. It could be done this way. Okay. What would be a better way to do this?
I think a slot can easily be a null. If weapon is null, then you don't have a weapon.
Okay. So I think that we should just check if weapon is not null.
Yeah, precisely.
If weapon null. So then we just want to return false. So if the weapon is not null, then it's gonna return the item. Okay. Or check.
That should make the tests run. And yay, great, it's null safe now. Also, I'm not sure if it's visible in the stream, but the IDEA has marked it with a bit of yellowish background. You can see on the if. This means that it has found a way to make this code shorter. So you can say, hey, simplify this. So we're gonna have first the null check. Does weapon equal null? And actually, does weapon exist? That it's not null, and is weapon equal to that? So this way we have this. Both ways work. Both ways work. There's no right or wrong in that. Just wanted to show that. Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Great. So we have this. Do we want to? Which direction we want to go now? From this point, I see that we can either go the more of a capitalist way of adding
more items,
of adding more items and prices to the items, so that players have money and such, or we can deal with the items in the sense that they would fall into the right slots.
I would go with the slots, I think.
Okay.
So basically we would implement subclasses to item. So let's say we have headgear, we have armor, and so on. So we create subclasses for the slots we have, and then we can check if the item is instance of headgear, then go to that slot. If it's instance of whatever, then go to that slot.
So just design-wise, what are the other options instead of using like this extending of these classes? We could also go with an enum, as in a sense that we have an enum for each slot, like a head slot, a body slot, a weapon slot. And what this would allow us to do was that we would be able to create a map of enums and items.
Okay.
So we'd have a small map. And we use the enums as keys, and then we have this one inventory map that contains all of our items.
Okay. So which one would be easily improved? So if we want to add a ring in the future, would it be easier to just make a new class ring that extends item, or add an enum and add it to the map? So basically both of them seem quite simple.
I guess if we have some kind of placing check, for example, if we have the one with the extending classes, right? Then you would have an inventory in the sense that you have a variable for each slot, right?
Yeah.
You have your weapon variable, you have your headgear variable, and now if you have this check for has item, right? This is gonna just this is going to be like hard-coded. Check if weapon slot has this item, check if that slot has that item, right? So it's going to be, if we have different slots, this is going to be, first, does weapon slot have this item? Next one is going to be, does the head slot have this item, right?
Shouldn't we check of what item type it is?
So okay, so you're going to have, if item is type of
instance
head,
of this, instance of this,
okay.
instance of this, and then only one time it will check if it's,
I'm not talking, precisely, that's the way it would be. So if you add now a new slot, you're going to have to add a new line over here.
Yeah, true.
Right.
True.
But if this would be an enum, then it says you just have for loop, go over all of the available item slots in your inventory, and then check is it one of those items. So in the sense that it doesn't matter what kind of slots or how many slots we add, the rest of the functionality will still remain the same.
Okay.
Okay, so that's one possibility.
So let's try to do this.
Okay, great.
Do we want to create a class for this? So basically, a player would have like an inventory or items that he has, so which would hold all of the item logic. So we wouldn't like make the player class do everything.
Yeah, so
There's gonna be a lot of logic in this class.
Yeah, a lot of logic is gonna be related to items and inventory. Yeah, we can. Yeah, that sounds reasonable. So,
or do we want to first write code and then extract the method?
I think it might be
or
actually
extract
good.
class.
We can start with inventory class right away.
Okay, let's do that.
And it's really a great way that we have already some logic in place, right? Now let's try to extract it into the inventory class and then have the tests still run.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a great challenge.
So basically, inventory is a new package, or should it go to the player?
I guess we can print it just on the player.
But like in the future, would a monster be able to use an inventory? So we could like put items on monsters.
On hero monsters. Yeah, that might be possible, but I guess we can tackle it then.
Yeah, let's
I guess the player and the monster are gonna be sharing some kind of a package anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So we have an inventory, and the inventory will probably have. So how do we refactor this? Well, it's gonna need.
Can we just undo this?
And just extract the method.
Yes. How is this done? Extract class actually.
Right now.
So we want everything to go there.
Yeah. Yeah. Create all the fields. Cool.
Okay, so we created this class. Oh, it did.
Well, didn't do it quite correctly, but
okay,
we can fix it now. So, this is not gonna have this weapon field. Has item will just return inventory dot.
has item.
Okay, great. Didn't copy this method. Just copy it myself. What do they do now? Great. So instead of asking our weapon slot directly, we're now going to ask the inventory for an item. So inventory has item then has item. And over here we need private item, the weapon we had before, right? I guess over here we can just go show weapon and weapon equals. So I guess a lot of the functionality got replaced now. The player currently is not really needed, so I'm going to remove this. We're not going to need this constructor, so I'm going to remove that. And in the player class, this inventory.
Don't need this.
I guess that should still keep all the tests A-OK. Let's see what happens. So we refactored it in the sense that we removed item-related logic into an inventory. Okay, we can improve this a bit. So the inventory should not have the buy method.
Yes, the buy method should be on the player.
Yeah.
But the buy method should put the item in the inventory.
Indeed. So, okay. I'm doing so much copy pasting. This is actually bad, or it's not bad, but you can be more efficient if you use the built-in functionality of the EDA that you're using. Less typos, less chance of messing up.
So it would be inventory dot set item. Actually, yeah, we could have add item that would go through the map that we're gonna have in the future and check the right slot and put it in there.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah, this is awesome. We can at the moment just put it into the weapon slot and see if it still runs the tests.
No. Alrighty. All tests, let's run them. 27 of them should be there. Cool. So currently, this is a great way of having the tests and stuff that we just refactored. Very core logic of the way we stored items, and the tests immediately tell us that yes, everything is working. And this might not seem much at the moment because there's so little code anyway, but in huge projects with tens of thousands of lines of code and a lot of functionality, you can't really go and test it all by yourself. You don't have the time for it.
Yeah, you need the class to be fully tested to be able to do this. Actually, you can do this, but you don't have the you can't say for sure that the code works.
Yeah, precisely. There's no way you can move to a release with that. If you do release it somehow and your company doesn't have the right practices in place to stop you from doing that, then well, the end user is the one who's going to suffer. And as a result, the company will suffer. And
or the testers.
Suffer.
It's gonna, all hell will break loose.
Well, it's not. The testers are not going to suffer. They just find that, hey, this is wrong, and they'll end up back on your desk. So that is a great way. Then, yeah, you can. Okay.
So
we discussed this before.
What do we want to do next?
Well,
so the player is able to buy an item.
So do we want to start implementing different types of items?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so basically the inventory, actually, first things first, we need to move the right tests into the right place, right? So we have the inventory. So this class at the moment is tested through the player tests class.
So
should we like...
Yeah, they're correct. This functionality... Yeah, you're right. I guess we can basically just rename the tests or rework them a bit. Or let's see. Should be able to buy item from shop. Well, actually, this can work like that way as well.
It can work at the moment because in inventory class we don't have any logic. Basically, has item has like an if in it.
Yeah,
so the if should be tested. So this test could be in the inventory class.
Yeah.
But the other one, nope.
Yeah. Let's just remove this one test then.
Yeah, let's start like that from a little bit.
Alrighty, so we're gonna add the package.
No.
Oh wait, we don't need a package.
It's in the player package.
You are correct. So inventor tests. Okay, great. Let's just take the test that we wrote on the player. That was the has item should be null safe. We're gonna go to the inventory tests. I'm gonna add this. Great. And player tests, I removed it. Yes, I did. Let's run all the tests. Boom. Alright, I guess that's good enough.
For the start. Awesome.
So, how would this actually be a part where we would make a commit? We're gonna start working on a totally new functionality. So
awesome. Actually, I'm thinking, do we want to split this into another episode?
I guess so. Keeping the episodes short would make them easier to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So next time we're gonna build more items that the player can handle, can use.
Yeah. So, what kind of items? There'll be different item slots, and the items would have different stats. they would have different
Actually, at the moment, the player,
legends and descriptions.
a player can buy an item, but it doesn't do anything. Okay,
Yeah,
actually,
but-
the player doesn't do anything at the moment. So
Yeah.
maybe we're looking at the game from like a wrong point. We
Yeah.
don't have the player cannot do anything at the moment, but he can buy items
Yeah.
the capitalist way.
We should totally, for next feature, we should add in the all those cash things. You pay real money for items. That should totally be the next feature.
Yeah.
Inventory for the player.
So you can have ice swords, which
Actually-
doesn't do anything.
Yeah, but that's the thing. In a business sense of view, you should be. That's what you should kind of drive for. The moment you can have the possibility for people to throw money at you, you should have the possibility to receive the money. So in that sense, the feature of adding the functionality for player to give you money is one of the most important things. You'll be amazed what kind of people are out there. You know, they're just like, I don't know, I'll just throw money here and there. Your game doesn't have to be
We should totally do this.
Actually, it'd be a great challenge to find out how can you hook PayPal onto your software so that you would have this test that each time you run it, each time you run the test, it like delivers money to your bank account.
Well, then we need a live version of this.
Yeah, we're gonna just run it on our computer.
Yeah.
Anyway, ideas, so many ideas. So this is the kind of thing that happens. You write a few lines of code. Yeah, we've got an item, we've got an inventory, and boom, you have a bazillion ideas.
Yay! Ideas are good, but
Yeah.
yes,
I guess that's it for this time.
yes.
Right.
So see you next time.
Yeah, see you guys next time.
We are the Programming Archon to make you a better programmer.
Yes. What is this chapter? All right. Yeah. Let's be better programmers.